Hello everyone. So here's another lock that I have labeled as picked in my collection, but I don't have a video for because I picked it back before I was videoing everything I picked. I didn't initially enjoy videoing, but then I slowly kind of grew to accept it as a good way to document things. So this is a DeGuard, and this is a 5-pin version. I did buy it brand new, but unfortunately I loaned it out one time, and in the return packaging got eaten by USPS. No fault of the person who mailed it back. They did a good job, but somebody in the process tried to eat the box, and this lock got battle scars because of it. So it's got a little tailpiece cam on the back, so it does have a little catch here and there, but functional lock, 5-pin, pin and pin. These are known for being pretty good copies of the Multi-Lock Interactive, and we're going to use our normal interactive picking style to pick it. So go ahead, grab my, I said go ahead and grab my Multi-Pick 5, and then I went and flung it. And yes, I'm trying to pay more attention to what tips I actually am using. This one's a 5, not a 4. So I'm just going to go through my normal pin and pin routine, heavy tension, find a binder, pin 2 is binding right away. It's the interactive, so I know it's going to be a higher lift. And we get into a little bit of a false set, so the rest of it probably spooled. This is 3. 4 is binding and giving me counter rotation. Feels good now. 5. Oh, we got it moved, but we did not fall back in to our false set. Did I get overset? Did 2 drop? I don't think 2 dropped. 3 is good. 4 is a little weird. 5. Probably an overset somewhere. Just go ahead and drop it all. Start over. There's our false set. Let's come back to these. Be a little bit more diligent. Not liking this one bit. 1's fine. 2 is fine. Three, 4, 5. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Either overset or underset something. Underset probably. I'm going to keep tension up on this as I let it counter rotate. There we go. Then there's one more still. 5, 5 oversets so easy. So let's get it to drop back down. Alright, give it just a little bit. Alright. There we go. Hopefully we're not on a torpedo of some kind. I think we were. Seems good now. There we go. So I am in the 0 tension right now. We're in the all outer set, probably, or close to it. And just in case, I can't remember if DeGuards have countermilling, but I always go to much lighter tension for this, which bit me on the gamma because it was tapered, but one through. 1, 2, 3's got some counter rotation. Is it good counter rotation or bad? I think it's good. Yep, it was good. You're for sure just on inners now, I think. So I'm going to apply some tension, try to find a binding inner, 5, and we're open. So there you go. That is your 5-pin DeGuard. We'll go ahead and got it. Definitely not a speed pick by any illusion, but filming this right after the show, so I had my camera set higher. It had been working its way down low. Alright, so go ahead. It does have a Bible cover. I'm not going to use it. We're just going to get it like normal. Though if it has the serrated core like MTL does, which if I remember right it might, this might be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I'm not too worried about it. Go ahead and get these off. So DeGuard, like MTL, is tip stop now, so we just gotta push it. We could push it all the way through and you see it doesn't work, but normally that plate's there, and that acts as our tip stop to keep it from to keep the key from going too far. So now we're just going to rotate this to line up at a 45-degree angle. If there were profile pins, we want to make sure those holes aren't in the line of the stuff. So usually 45 away from right. And then I wouldn't grab, that's way too big. I'll grab my other follower that's over here. And I want to use this end for sure. There we go. It's easy for it to get caught on these. Yeah, so this does have a little serrated. So the driver inners like to get caught on these. Click a little bit. We set one of the inner pins flying. That's alright. It's because there was no tip stop. And you can see torpedo. This was 4. So let's just get them out. 5, torpedo, and properly torpedo on the low lifts. I wish the Loxus would have done that. I mean, I don't, because it would have probably kicked my butt even more than it already did with its tapered stuff, but that is where your torpedoes should be, the low lifts that people are likely to overlift. So 3 did not have a torpedo. Moderate lift. 2 is our interactive. Dumping it out. And then 1. Last little bit of 1. And so let's show this compared to the Loxus. So interactives, Loxus had the spring in the keys. And so this element's free in this. There's no spring in there. And when the key is inserted, this giant area will get pushed on by that little, and that's spring loaded too, and it will push that interactive up. You see it right there, it goes up. Hopefully I'll get closer. You can see there it's sitting down, right? And once it hits that element, it pops up. So that allows it to push the element up. In this case, the inner element is getting lifted quite high. So that's how interactives work in the MTL Interactive and its clones like the DeGuard. The DeGuard's actually a really good clone. The tolerances are very nice. It doesn't have like blown out overmill or like an overmilling or flattening of these that you see in like the Canard, which keeps it much tighter to pick. The only thing that's funny to me about this is these serrations are in MTL cores, and it's usually because they have profile pins that go in those spots, and they kind of line up with that location. The DeGuard doesn't have that, but it still has the serrations on the core, which it really doesn't need. But it's funny that they copycatted that part. This is just the bottom of the interactive, and the interactive's pushed in, so I'm not gonna fuss trying to get that out because I'll probably break it and never get it functional again. So go ahead and show just the inners as we go. So there's inner 1, and first pin was a spool. Big beefy long springs. Pin 2, just the inner. Pin 2 was standard. A lot of times there will be 4 spools, and then the one standard pin is commonly on the interactive. I don't know if that was like a rule, but I've seen it in these clones. I've seen it in the original interactive. Hopefully 3 is still easy to see on camera. There's our inner, and then I'm expecting a spool, and that's what we get. I'm going to flip around for better visibility. So now pin 5 is right there. There's the inner sticking out. And then the spool. And our spring. Pin 4. There's our interactive. Or our inner, I mean. And then just a spool hour. So, really enjoy the DeGuard. It's a very good clone of the MTL. I have some Rikis that I have unranked, but I've picked before. I'll probably video them once they get a rank. The Rikis are also a clone of the Interactive, but they reek. They're not very good. Their tolerances are much looser. These are actually much nicer, and if I have... it's probably over here somewhere. These are an example of MTL's actual pins. So I have some counter milled outers and things like that. The serrated pins. My MTL is currently in its spooled form. But these are the standard pins from MTL, and you can see, if you watched my Loxus video, you knew that the standard pins were rounded on the interior to act like a taper, but I was curious if the MTL ones were. They're not. They're straight. And so are these ones. Also very straight. There is a little bit of a divot there, but not as significant as the Loxus. So here's your standard pin. And then here is your spooled one. And sadly, no spooled outers or inners. Just the outer portion is spooled, but the inner is just normal. So that is how DeGuard does things. And then there's no counter milling on any of these, I'm pretty sure, because there's no way for them to catch on anything. So very standard fare on those as well. You know, nothing fancy. So that was our DeGuard 5-pin. Let's do a little close-up pin shot, I guess. Here are our pins, and there's our core with its interactive. So let's go ahead and reassemble it. So I've been reassembling by putting the pins in first. I'm gonna switch things up a bit. Let's put the springs and all that magic in first. So try to get it on video here. At the same time, definitely takes more skill to do it on video at the same time. But we'll get our pin in there and get it pushed in. Spool pins are nice because you can push on them with the follower and do some follower counter rotation to help get them stuck in place. Oh, so MTL does this too. I'm so happy, and I'm joking, that DeGuard copied them with these massively long springs. So the only thing to keep track of when you're doing pin and pins is making sure that you actually put them in the correct orientation. If you were to flip them around, lock would be no fun. Essentially the inner pins would do nothing. I'm having difficulty biting onto that one. Just get it bent into place. Very straightforward reassembly. And another really fun pin and pin lock. If you can't tell, I'm solidly a member of the Pip gang. These have been my favorite locks to pick. Especially when they have spools like this and you get all those varying levels of false set. It makes them a lot of fun. Here we go. Unlike MTL, we don't have any drilling protection, so I didn't see any on the core either, so it makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, there's none on the core either. So, putting the outers in first. If you're one of those people that puts the inners in first, I'm joking. It's not possible because the inners have a ledge on them, but I was just seeing if you guys are still awake watching, because this would be a good reassembling one of these is a good way to fall asleep probably. So oop. All right, same rule I always use. I'll use my key for reassembly just to keep things at the shear line. And actually in that case I can just push this straight in. And we'll get this back on. Is this magnetic? Look at that. Go backwards a little bit. Make sure we're not cross-threading. There we go. Whee. Yep. I got it on too high speed. Too much fun. And then a function check, and we're good to go. That was the 5-pin DeGuard. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch y'all later.